Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Friday, December the 17th, 2021. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and we are here to discuss a really solid NBA DFS main slate of 8 games on Draftkings and Fanduel and 7 games on Yahoo. So we're going to go through each game. We'll take a look at getting our lineups in position. But as you know, here, it's Friday morning. By the time this slate locks at 7 o'clock with all this incredible COVID news, we're crossing our fingers here that COVID doesn't cancel more games or shut things down. So let's be positive and hope that gets under control. They did announce they're doing a little bit more of an upgrade in testing. So I think they're trying to get a good handle on it. And let's hope for our sake that we can continue with DFS. We certainly want to have that NBA slate on Christmas Day. It's one of the best slates. One of the best slates of the year. All right. Great night last night. We really hammered DraftKings here. Had a fifth place finish with a 4-figure hit there and qualify for the big 888 tonight. That should be a lot of fun. And just saw some good stuff from our members. Appreciate all of them posting winners. Our football guys also did a terrific job cashing in on the different sites. So we got it happening here. This is the Coach Talk time of year, basketball and football in its prime. We'd love to have you join us. Just go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up for any of our 12 days of Christmas specials where you can get 12 days of Coach Talk for only $12. Cannot beat that. That's way better than our regular specials even. But if you want just 3 days, if you just want a weekend for $10, you can do that. But, however you want to do it, 12 days, you can't beat it though. I mean, you get this all the way through Christmas. So give us a shout, give us a try. We'd love to have you. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, quick thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, give us a quick comment or question on the bottom. We'd really appreciate that. And while you're at it, hit that little bell in the upper corner. That will give you an alert every time one of our podcasts posts. And we do 7 NBA podcasts per week in front of the paywall and 3 NFL podcasts. So you're not going to want to miss those. We also have giveaways going on right now. Check us out on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. We have a 3-day pass we're giving away today to join us. We also, for all members, we have a $50 ticket that we're going to give away for the Christmas slate. I mean, we've got so much going on, it is not even funny. All right, let's try to keep this hot streak going and dive into these games today. Like I say, Yahoo's pulling their Friday night. We're going to start a half an hour later and have a different size slate. And that's fine, marketing option that they're utilizing to gain some new people. Makes sense. But we're going to talk about the first game that is the 7 o'clock game that is on the Draftkings and Fanduel main slate. And then we'll go through the rest of the games from there. Okay, first game of the night. It happens to also be the lowest total of the night. So I don't know how much interest or difference your people's lineups are going to be on Yahoo than they are on DraftKings and FanDuel, just because this is not going to be a very popular game at all. It is the Miami Heat at the Orlando Magic. Miami -6, 208.5 is the total. 107.25 implied for Miami. 101.25 implied for Orlando. Heat comes in at 17-12. Orlando at a very rough 5-24. Now, it may take the rest of this podcast to read the guys that are out for these two teams. I cannot recall seeing this many guys listed ever for one game. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. There's 17 people that are either out or questionable in this game. That's nuts. let's hope the NBA can control this so we don't lose any action. It's really worrisome. But anyway, the guys questionable for Miami are Hero and Yurtseven, and then out Adebayo, Butler, Martin, Morris, and Oladipo. For Orlando, we have probable for Cole Anthony, and then questionable for Mo Bamba and Gary Harris, two other starters. Guys that are already ruled out are MCW, Fultz, Isaac, Moore, and Suggs. So interesting. As far as the statistical look here, we're talking about Miami as the 25th pace in the league. They played the 25th pace. Orlando, the 6th. So pace up for Miami, pace down for Orlando. Orlando is on the first night of a back-to-back. So we'll see if, any of these guys are going to lose any minutes or rotation. They're such a young team. They usually play, if they're going to go, they play full minutes. But we need to see about, the Bamba and Harris that are listed as questionable. As far as defense, Miami is 7th in the league defensively. Orlando second to last at 29th. So definitely, it's very tempting here, even though it's a low total game. You get some super value in Miami if you want to go Gabe Vincent at 4.9, Duncan Robinson at 4.7, Dedmon at 5K. I know PJ Tucker had a good game last time at 4.5, but he's been known to throw a 0 on there after 35 minutes of play. So not going to go there. If you want the one pay up option that you have here, and it's very doable, is Kyle Lowry at 7.8. I mean, he's got to be the man here to lead this team if they're going to win this game. I think he's the quarterback. He should be getting a lot of DFS points across the board, and I'm seriously considering him, even though this game is not going to get that much attention. On the other side of the slate, Cole Anthony, who I've been on all year, is the exact same price as Lowry at 7.8. And he was listed as questionable yesterday, but upgraded to probable today. So I think, he goes full board. I don't see any minutes restrictions or anything like that. So Anthony is in play. I don't know if I want to go Lowry Anthony here and put that much salary into the pool in a game that's only 208.5 total, when we have a bunch of games in the 220s and upper 220s. So that's the big decision that I have to make. Wendell Carter's also my other option here. He's 6'9". He gets the value constantly for me. He's been a really key guy to my lineups. And I like him, and I'm considering him a lot, especially if Bamba sits, because they'll generally bump Carter to center. He's going to pick up some of those rebounds and such that Bamba would grab. So I know it seems crazy that this game wouldn't be that much interest, and I think a lot of people are going to overlook it. But Lowry, Anthony, and Carter are three guys I'm going to look at. And if I'm looking for a last man in, salvage some value, I think Vincent Robinson, Dedmon are also all guys that you can consider. All right, second game, 7:30 game, Denver at Atlanta. Atlanta -4. It's a 223.5 total, 109.75 implied for Denver, 113.75 for Atlanta. Denver comes in 14-14, Atlanta 14-14. So two 500 teams going at it. Very poor pace in this game too, so we'll discuss that. But let's look at the injuries first. Denver has Austin Rivers likely to play, so he's probable. But we have three guys out: JaMychal Green, Marcus Howard, and Jamal Murray. For Atlanta, questionable tag on Okongwu, Bogdanovich, and Hunter remain out. So again, as I say, the pace here is not great. 24th and 18th. So that is a deterrent. But then you flip the coin and you see here's a good reason why. And here's why the total is 223.5. Denver's 21st and Atlanta 24th defensively. So there will be points scored. I don't think this has to be a key game on the slate, but I think having some exposure here is wise. You've got a couple of options at Barton at 6.5 and Gordon at 5.8, Jeff Green at 4.2. If you want to go on the cheaper side, if you really want to put the chips in the table and just roster the Joker up there at 12K, you can do that. I'm probably not going to go there because I do respect Capella defense and Collins defense. I think combined they can do at least a decent job at 12K to not let the Joker break the slate. And there's a lot of other pay up options here. But if the Joker's the call, any given night, no matter who the competition is, it is a doable commodity to roster Joker. We all know that. Trae Young at 10.2, a bit pricey, but has been hot lately. Still like the Herter value, 5.2, with the two guys still remaining out that take minutes from him. He's pretty safe play. He makes a lot of lineups. He makes a lot of value, 6, 7X, very consistently at that low 5K number. Not probably going to go up to Collins or Capella. Too many other options on this slate. All right, game 3, 7:30 p.m. game. Golden State at Boston. Should be a fun game. You've got both teams on the first night of a back-to-back. So, definitely could affect rotations a bit. We need to look at a lot of beat writer stuff, coach speak, and see if we can get any indication if anybody's going to be given a little bit of a breather here. Definitely something to consider, especially on the pay-up guys, which there are a couple, 3 of them actually, in Curry, Brown, and Tatum. So a little riskier to go there, but it will hold maybe their ownership down a bit. So that's what we need to see. Golden State is 8th in pace, Boston 21st. And then defensively, we know we have 2 strong defensive teams here, especially Golden State, who's remained first in the league, and Boston is 11th. Curry's 11.3, certainly an option. Jordan Poole at 5.7 is a really nice price. Wiggins at 6.1 and Draymond at 6.5. I think those 3 guys are also nice lower mid-level pricing. Certainly maybe one of those slides in there. And then, again, you got Brown at 8.5 and Tatum at 9K. Probably not going to go there, but if you like them in this game, you're going to get them at lower ownership than normal because they're playing against Golden State's defense. Either guy has the ability to break the slate. So more power to you if you're confident going there. I'm not going to on this particular slate. Cheaper guys you can consider: Smart at 5.4, Howard at 6.5, Williams at 4.8, and Schroeder at 6.1. I like one of those guys better actually as a mid-price guy sliding in if you're going to play one-off here in this game. Not a key game for me, that 215.5 over, total with Golden State, the 3.5 point favorite. Definitely a little bit more concern there for me as far as having too many people in this game. All right, we go to the next one. It is 8 o'clock now. Milwaukee and the Pelicans. Milwaukee favored by 3, 217.5 total. 110.25 implied for Milwaukee, 107.25 for the New Orleans Pelicans. Milwaukee comes in at 19-11. New Orleans comes in at 9-21. As far as the injury report here, we have Chris Middleton as probable. I'm including him in all my early analysis. Then we have a doubtful on Thanasis. We have out for Giannis, DiVincenzo, Lopez, Matthews, Ogilvy, and Portis. So now we're digging down in this Bucks lineup for sure. Hopefully they have enough guys to play. For the Pelicans, Holmes, Luzada, Williamson, all out for New Orleans. So what do we think about this game? Well, you're going to have some serious value on the Milwaukee side. There's no question about that. And the question is, do you trust it? That's going to be the tipping point. Milwaukee's on the first night of a back-to-back to boot. So not only are they shorthanded, they have to figure out how they're going to be rested enough to have enough guys to roll tomorrow. For the Pelicans, it's an island game. Milwaukee's 9th in pace. The Pelicans are 20th. As far as defensive team efficiency, Milwaukee top 10 at 9th. Pelicans 3rd from last at 28th. So let's look at this Bucks team. Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton become major targets, and it's going to be important, I think, to have one or the other or both in this game. If it stays close enough, which the spread's only 3 in Vegas, it should. Holiday and Middleton are going to be very, very important. 7-9 for Holiday, 6-7 for Middleton. Very respectable on DraftKings. And 2 guys that you really have to look at. Now, on the value side, you've got a couple of options. Mamukla Chevy, I can't say his name. I need Andrew to say it. I can never say it. But Sandro, I'm going to call him. Sandro is only $3K dead minimum, may get the start at center. If not, DeMarcus Cousins at 3-1. Those 2 guys should share the center role in this game. Both playable commodities, but, are they going to split that? Is it Sandro's time to shine? We will see. I think a lot of people will take shots there, and deservedly so. For me personally, I'm going to look at it as a shared position. I just think that Cousins shares that with Sandro, and I think I just don't know if they can get there. Even though at 3 and 3.1, you get 16 DFS points, you make value, but is 16 DFS points enough to take anything down, whether you make value or not? If you can use that spot, that salary to buy up for another stud, then you can justify it. But a lot of moving parts there, a lot of decisions to be made. I think I feel more comfortable going to Holiday and Middleton and just feeling good there. But you're going to have a ton of ownership for Sandro and some for Cousins as well. And once they announce the starter there, then one of those 2 could be one of the higher value ownership guys on the slate. After that, if we look at the Pelicans, you've got Brandon Ingram at 8-7, which is a little, he has the potential to get to that number for sure. He's done it on occasion, but he also has a tendency to get to that 3-4x and not quite get there. Jonas Valanciunas 8-2, not going against really a center that has played serious minutes in this league in this last year, because Cousins just signed him not too long ago, and then Sandro being a rookie. So Jonas is a nice target here. If this game stays close, he could be the bread and butter guy. This could be one of those 16, 17, even 18 rebound games for Joe Val. So as of right now, he is penciled as one of my top center choices on this slate. I think 8-2 is very fair. He's shown some good ceiling. Definitely has occasionally, if he gets in foul trouble, which we know, he can trail behind a little bit there on getting to value. But I think the spot is perfect for him. I think you can also consider 2 value plays here. Josh Hart at 5.5 and Herb Jones at 4K. Both of them have the ability to get to their number, and both should get a good solid amount of minutes in the rotation. So this game is going to be interesting. I think it may be the pivotal game, even though it's a 217.5 total, because of what the decisions are made on who you're going to play and who you're going to use as value. I'm hoping to sneak in there. Everybody's going to pay attention to Sandro and Cousins, and I hope forget about Joe Val, because I think that may be the smartest play in this entire game. But I guarantee you I will have Holiday and or Middleton in my cash lineup as well. Okay, here we go. San Antonio Spurs and the Utah Jazz. It's a 9 o'clock game. And then we have 3 10 o'clock games. So we have Friday night action starting at 7, going all the way till whatever it is, 12:30 in the morning. I love it. Never can't get enough basketball this time of the year. As long as everybody stinking plays and doesn't get ruled out with COVID, then this is just the best best kind of slate to watch basketball because you get a good chance to check everybody out. All right, here's a big number. Utah Jazz minus 11.5. So that's a concern. You got that double-digit favoritism, but you have a big fat over-under of 225.5, 107 implied for the Spurs, and a monster 118.5 for the Jazz. You don't see a lot of them that high anymore. Spurs 10-17, Jazz 20-7. Lonnie Walker questionable, Zach Collins out. And then you only have Jared Butler questionable with Azubuike out. So this game is barely touched by anybody out thus far, knock on wood. I'll do that for us. Okay, we're safe. Then, that gives you a lot of hope that this game can produce some good DFS numbers, and Vegas thinks so as well. Spurs are 5th in pace, so nice pace-up game for Utah. Utah's 14th in pace. Everybody thinks they play so dead slow. They're right in the middle of the pack. Defensive efficiency, San Antonio's 17th. Jazz are 5th. So it is a bit of a stingy defense from the Jazz. As we look at some possible plays here, I know DeJounte Murray can hit some big, huge triple doubles or big point numbers. He's 9-7 against a Jazz team in Utah with the elevation. I'm probably not going to go there. Derek White, who I love now at 6-7. I never liked him, but he did put a crazy 50-60 burger up on the board for me earlier in the week. So he's on my radar, a little high though, price-wise. Keldon Johnson, you never know at 5'3". I do consistently like Jakob Poeltl. He's 6'6", and we've talked about it on the show before. Statistically speaking, Gobert has been getting scored upon by opposing centers. So that has been a consistent theme. What he leads the NBA in is his help side defense. He blocks more shots and alters more shots off of his man than any other player in the NBA. So again, Murray on those drives to the basket, or Keldon Johnson, guys that are coming in looking to get offensive rebounds or slice to the hoop. You've got Gobert almost in that one-man pseudo zone, if you will, standing back there. But the point being is I think Poeltl's still playable, even though it's against Gobert at that fair 6-6 price. Devin Vassell, got to keep an eye on him at only 4K. He can pop some good games in there. On the Jazz side, 118.5 is a big number implied total. So where do you want to go here? Lots of options. I mean, Clarkson and Conley have continued to just plummet in pricing. Conley's 5'4", Clarkson's 4'5". So these are two guys that were close to 8K at times last year as the Jazz were playing great. So value there if you want it. Donovan Mitchell's been fantastic. He's 8'4", always in play, especially, in this kind of matchup. Bogdanovich, very inconsistent, probably a good GPP play at 5K. And then if you want to go Rudy Gobert at 8'3", you can go up to that spot. I'm not going to go there. I do think Poeltl, his size, is a really good matchup for Gobert, and I don't think you're going to see one of those massive Gobert rebound games, which you need if you really want him to bust that 8.3 number. So that's where I stand there. Not my favorite game, but I think you can get a couple of guys in here. I think it's going to be over-owned because of that 225.5 total. So, I think part of the strategy is to stay lighter on this game and just one off, one side or the other. All right, we hit the late 10 o'clock games, and they're all pretty good numbers. They're all 222 and up. So the first one being the 222 game is Minnesota is a 2-point favorite over the Lakers. Very interesting. 222 is also the total. 112 implied for 110 implied for the Lakers, 112 for Minnesota. Amazing that Minnesota's favored over the Lakers with that loaded Lakers roster. Very crazy. Lakers are 16-3. Minnesota's 13-15. You've got No injuries listed for Minnesota. How is that humanly possible? There's no other team that has anything like that, but zero. Whereas you've got 10 guys listed for the Lakers. So you've got Davis and James probable. They're going to more than likely play. But here are all the guys that are out: Ariza, Bradley, Horton Tucker, Howard Nunn, and Westbrook. So you got a boatload of guys out for the Lakers. What does that mean to this game? Well, let's take a little bit of a deeper dive. You've got phenomenal pace. So it's only 222 total, even though the Lakers are playing at the fastest pace in the league and Minnesota the fourth fastest pace. So that is a real plus. Defensively, not bad. Lakers 10th, Minnesota 13th. So maybe that is keeping that number in check a bit. But I'll tell you, there's some great plays here. There's no question about it. With Westbrook out, certainly makes you want to use one of your pay up spots for either LeBron or Anthony Davis. LeBron's 10-4, Davis is 9-4. I think you really got to consider both of them. Now, Davis has not looked right lately. I mean, a couple of air balls the last game, and he still puts up great numbers, and he still can break the slate. So, but I think people have watched him just not play great lately, and he may go down in ownership. But I wouldn't react to that too fast. He's still Anthony Davis. Cat doesn't play good interior defense. And I, definitely would interested in either James or Davis here. I think it's a wise pay up spot, especially expecting that this game stays close. If you want a big value play, you can go buzzer beater Austin Reeves. I'm not going to fall for that trap. He is 3-3. So I know a lot of people are going to want to go there. I'm going to be tempted, as well, but I'm just concerned, you're going to get one of those 15, 18 fantasy point games, which, I'm sure you're saying, hey, coach, at 3.3K, give me 18 points and we'll roll down the road. But again, it's so competitive in NBA DFS. You just can't take those sub 20 guys. I mean, I know it allows you the ability to pay up for spots, but in my opinion, I want my worst guy or two at 25 DFS points and up. And that's the way I look at it. I'm not looking at it like I've always have in past, that moniker of if they get to 5X, we're good. I don't think that that's quite the case if you really want to cash in and take stuff down. I think you got to raise that parameter and just eliminate the salary piece and say, okay, my worst players here, do I feel that they are going to get 25 plus DFS points? If you can give me one or two of those guys, and then, you're not taken away from your 60 or 70 point studs, that I think is what really the mixture is. And that's where my strategy shift has changed a little bit in the last couple of weeks, and it's really showing in the results. So anyway, that leaves me with DeAndre Jordan as another option too. He's only 3K. If he's going to start and get decent minutes, I know they benched him for quite a while, and they'll play small with Davis at center. So it's no smash spot. It's probably more of a GPP play. But if Jordan's starting and he's going to get 25 minutes, he's going to get rebounds and blocks and score a couple alley-oop dunks in that time. So certainly in play. We're going to follow that news closely as well. And then being a little short-handed, Ellington at 3.4 and Carmelo at 4K and Monk at 4.4, all at least can be in the conversation now. Certainly become very viable GPP options as well. All right, on the Minnesota side, D'Angelo Russell at 7.6, Anthony Edwards at 8, and Cat at 9.6. All guys that can certainly lead to a break the slate kind of moment. And if this game stays close, I think they're going to be competitive. Cat at 9.6, just a little bit too much for me, facing, Davis, Jordan, and some of the good interior D for the Lakers. I know statistically centers have done much better against LA, but still to go up to that big number and expect somebody to get, I'd need Cat to get 65 or 70 for me to feel comfortable taking on 9.6 in this matchup. And I'm not sure he gets there. I would prefer going with one of the other Russell or Edwards options. I think you can look there or maybe past Minnesota completely. So interesting game. We're going to follow this one closely as well. All right, two more games, both 10 o'clock tilts. Memphis -5 at Sacramento, 224.5 total, 114.75 implied for Grizz, 109.75 implied for Sacramento. So good matchup there. Memphis is 18-11. People don't realize they're 18-11 and have played with Ja Morant for half the season. Sacramento's 12-17. Got a boatload of stuff here. At least we know the Memphis situation. We know Clark, Merrill, Morant, and Williams are out. So they're going to have the regular rotation, minus Ja and no Clark off the bench, basically. Other than that, they're rolling with their regulars. As far as Sacramento, we've got probable tags on Fox, Len, and Metu, all important to get them firmly ruled in. The guy that's going to be a shift change in this game is the questionable Tyrese Halliburton. We do need that news. As far as the other guys, Holmes is doubtful. I've got him listed as not playing. And then Bagley and Davis are out, and Lewis King is out. So their depth is really smashed here, and that could really push up some of these Sacramento regulars. Because with it only being a 5-point spread, there's definitely some potential for some big numbers, especially with that 224.5 total. And Memphis is 10th in pace, Sacramento's second. And if you remember, I think it was almost 2 weeks ago that Gentry took over, and now he's out with COVID, but they're using his entire coaching philosophy. I assumed they'd go up real quickly in pace. They went from, I believe, 11th. Now they're second in pace. So you've got two top 10 teams in pace and two teams that don't defend well. Memphis only 16th, but they've improved a bit since they've had Brooks back. But Sacramento's 26th. So you've got really good conducive mixture here to a blow-up kind of game. I really like this game. I think that it's not the highest total on the board, but I think it's got a lot of great potential. I think Tyus Jones at 5'5" can be considered. Desmond Bane at 6'4". Dylan Brooks is 6'3". Jaren Jackson is 6'7". And Steven Adams at 4'9". All five starters, I think that's who I have projected for starting. I think are all options here. They're priced great. You can get a couple of them in there. Their bench is still solid with Anderson and Melton. But remember, all that Ja Morant, even though he's been out a while, that usage now is steadily, comfortable with a lot of these guys. So Bane's been terrific this year. Brooks, has the potential to break a slate. Jackson, if he stays out of foul trouble too. And you get a sub 5K Steven Adams, that is, especially on the sites where you can use two centers, is very tempting. As far as the Sacramento side, Davion Mitchell has now really been secured in that starting lineup. He's only 3'6". He's not a big DFS producer points-wise, but there are certain spots where he certainly can go 7-8x, if he's hitting some inside shots and penetration shots and getting a bunch of stocks. And so definitely worth a consideration. Halliburton, we don't know what his status is going to be. Don't really, even if he's ruled in, is he going to get full minutes, with Buddy Hield sitting on the bench there waiting to get those minutes? It eliminates those two guys for me. If Halliburton's ruled out, then I think you can consider Hield at 5'1". The other guys, Barnes has been slow to come back, but he's only 5'7", and I think, that's a good potential spot to go. And then the cheap guys, if Metu plays at 3'7", and gets, regular minutes that he's been getting recently, he can be in consideration. I think a sneaky guy is Tristan Thompson. They've got a ton of bigs out. He's going to play decent minutes. He's a tremendous rebounder. He's always been one of the better offensive rebounders in the game, and could be a sneaky play that isn't going to get much ownership. So I like this game. I'm going to have definite exposure here. There's no, horns and whistles and sexy picks in this game, but I think there's some real good base guys at good prices that can help you really take some stuff down. All right, last game on the slate. We've got Charlotte Hornets at Portland Trailblazers. Biggest number of the night, 228. 113 implied for Charlotte, 115 implied for Portland. So you got both over that magic 110 number by a lot. It's only a 2-point spread and a 228 total. So that yells out DFS City is what that yells out. Charlotte comes in 16-14, Portland 11-18. We have 2 questionable tags for Charlotte, and we certainly need to know the first one. LaMelo Ball is questionable. If he plays, changes everything. He's immediately in play. Ish Smith is the solid backup point guard, and he's questionable. So if Ball's out, Smith's in play. If Ball's in play, Smith's out. You get it. And then D. Smith 3 is questionable. We know McCollum, Snell, and Zeller are out. So interesting game here. You got a good pace team in Charlotte at 3rd and Portland at 15th. And then 2 horrific defenses. Charlotte dead last, Portland 27th. So there's not going to be much resistance here. Vegas knows it. We know it. You have to have some exposure here. You can't fade this game, in my opinion, and expect to take anything down because just too many opportunities here to garner DFS points. You can spend a bunch here. You can, you could roster 4 guys from this game if you want to, but I'm going to split it up between that last game that we just talked about, Memphis, Sacramento, and this Charlotte Portland game. So I'm going to be sitting low in the rankings, I believe, for a while until these last 2 games come up. But I just, I think they're solid games. LaMelo Ball, if he plays with no restrictions at 9.5, absolutely in play, as is his counterpart, Dame Lillard at 9.3. Now, I personally like Ball better if he's, again, no restrictions. Is he going to jump in and play 38, 40 minutes? Probably not. So you got to really look at it hard. I'm going to look for coach speak, see what they're going to say. If they're going to ease him back in, that kind of thing, then, of course, you don't play him. But Lillard gets Rozier defense, which I respect. So that makes me a little nervous there. But Lillard this is the kind of game that he can go bonkers in also. Gordon Hayward at 6'8", coming off a giant game, as we know from the last game, can definitely be a slate breaker kind of guy. And then my man Norman Powell, who's been really steady for me, has taken up a lot of the McCollum usage in scoring. Miles Bridges now at 7.7, a lot better than when he was up in the 8s. And Nurkic at 7.3 on the other side, certainly into consideration here. Kelly Oubre probably coming off the bench again, which really, hurts him. But at 7K, isn't going to get much ownership, still can come in and light it up and can be considered. And then Anthony Simons on the other side at 5.2. Again, he gets a good solid rotation with McCollum out. So really, really solid, good games to choose from here. It's a phenomenal slate. It really is. And there's a lot of changes that can happen as the day goes on. So connect to us, follow us if you can through our Discord. You just go to dfscoachtalk.com and you can sign up there. And we'd love to have you. So check us out. We're going to crush it tonight, and then we're going to get back at it with the 7-game slate tomorrow. So really appreciate everybody listening in. Don't forget on the way out here, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and give us a quick comment. That really helps us move up the algorithm, and hit the alert button so you know when our podcast posts. Don't forget about our 12-day of Christmas special, where you get 12 full days, all access of DFS Coach Talk for $12. So give yourself a Christmas present or someone you love and give them that 12 days of DFS Coach Talk, and you can take down the big tournaments like we did last night and are looking to do again tonight. So thank you for spending this time with me. Appreciate each of you. For the entire Coach Talk team, I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach. We'll catch you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA DFS.